It's been a really challenging week this week, getting back into the real world and starting to do things again. Over lockdown, Blythe Toolship managed to video with Michael Portillo for one of his great train journey episodes, and it showed on Tuesday night at 6:30. I was so pleased with how the team did. They presented themselves well. They really faced up to the camera and talked openly and honestly about what was going on and what they did for the community. The following day, well, even that night, I got a barrage of emails and text messages having quite a go at us for everything you can think of. Racist issues, sexist issues, and yet we're a charity which is open to everyone, works with all sorts of people with disabilities. 50% of our charity is run by females, and yes, we didn't feature anybody who was black. But less than 0.5% of the population in that area is black. And we only had about 10 people in the video. I had everything from, why did I not know about this? You need to do more marketing when we'd just been on primetime TV, through to, you're racist, or whatever it might be. Now, whether it's because Michael Portillo is an ex-Conservative MP or politician, and it sort of triggers people, or whether the world has changed dramatically in its attitude to charities and people trying to do a good thing, who knows? What I do know is it feels very uncomfortable to be challenged quite aggressively like that for days. In our reading today, Matthew gives us two lines: an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and turn the other cheek. And it really did come, interestingly, right in the middle of me being slapped around the face. Matthew was speaking to a Jewish bunch of Christians surrounded by Jews and trying to get them to understand how to differentiate themselves from each other. And the differentiation is that actually in Jewish law and Jewish approaches there is a right of retribution, and that was physical a long time ago, but in Jesus' time was also very much legal and financial. Matthew's saying, look, as Christians we have to be different even from that. My question is, even today in the UK, are we even as good as the Jewish culture was? Because that had some sort of rules that limited the way, if you were triggered or had something you felt was happened against you, it sort of limited your responses and reactions. And now people feel quite clearly that they can have a go at anybody for anything in an almost unlimited way. Just look at what's going on in our government and some of the statements that have been made in Parliament, which are completely unfair and untrue. Look at the reaction on the streets to some of our politicians who've been damaged and even murdered. Now, I've got to admit, I got really frustrated this week, and actually I took it out on somebody who said something that just touched my funny bone and touched my frustration point, and I sort of blew up a bit. And I felt, oh, hold on a second, was that fair as well? Was I doing the eye for the eye, the tooth for the tooth, and lashing out not at the person who was having a go at me? I don't know. It's really difficult one. What I do know is that as Christians we've got choices. We can either sit back at home and do nothing, or get out and do some good in the world. And from my perspective, even with all those frustrations, I think the response has to be to get on and do some good in the world. I wonder what you feel about getting back out into the world and getting back to normal, and whether things will be different. Well, if they are, Perhaps that's what we've got to hold on to. That as Christians we will do our best to keep on going, despite the slaps in the face, despite people who are not hearing the Christian message having a go. Let's do it. Let's build the kingdom together. Amen.